Got a technical difficulty here, folks. Get it going. There it goes. All right. This is Gil, Camppatton Family Compound. I got with me tonight, I got Tammy from Rebel Canners and Mark from Chef Tech. And it's for time for the Monday Night Fireside Chat. And tonight's topic is cooking and canning library. I just love it when the thing starts going spastic on me over there. It's like, stop. Yeah. Earlier today, when I was on the one laptop, I opened up to watch something and kept trying to scroll all the way to the bottom, no matter what tab I went to, channel. If I opened up my own channel on it, it went all the way to the bottom and tried to, instead of staying at the top. I don't know what was going on. I had to reboot the computer. All right, so Walt Rogers was the first one in here, followed by Mother's Garden Club. Then Jack Geeky Gardens. Diana 2 is on both sides.
Hi.
And you're over there saying hi to people on your side. And Angel's Homestead is here. And that's it so far. Well, those are the only ones checking in. I got 14 up there showing on the screen here. How many stick around, I don't know. But yeah. So, wow. All right. So tonight we're talking about the books. The many glorious types of fun-loving, absolutely amazing books. Okay, I see what happened there with Mark. His computer shut down.
Yeah, well, I'm back.
Yeah, you're back.
I texted Tammy, and then I realized I'm like, oh, she's probably on her cell phone. It just ruined her connection.
As long as it doesn't have a volume, it's okay. It's just things like the ringer or things that make it like the alarm that make it something about the sound. As soon as it has sound, then I lose everything for sound.
It crashed out on me. I'm like, something went wrong. I'm like, yeah, it means that the computer's probably been on for the last 4 days straight and I haven't rebooted it. So yeah, let me shut it down and reboot it. Seems a little better. I'm back out in my shop now, so we'll see what happens.
Well, I did some looking around. I found I found a couple of really interesting libraries. So I'm going to enlarge the one here on the top here. That is the kitchen and library in Seoul. It's a big, huge, monstrous one. It's got multiple levels. And they've got, it's just absolutely huge over there. And multiple kitchens in it. And some kitchens are, you can see this looks like a little greenhouse in here. Froze. This little greenhouse thing is a kitchen in there. And they got several of those to protect the books. But let me go back to, and you can see up here, if you look up in the upper right here, you see that big old vent there. There's a bunch of them. Let me go back up one. Look at the vents over there. 1, 2. There's another one out of top here. A couple more. There's vents all over the place, sucking the air out, filtering it, and putting it back in.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, Suzanne Goulet just came in. Hey, and so this is probably one of the ultimate kitchen libraries around that people can come in and look at. And there was another. This is the one in Seoul. There's another one in. Was it Hong Kong? No, Singapore. I think it was when I was looking. And all the good ones are over there in the Far East.
Of course.
Where they have it set up like that. There's another one down in Japan as well that's huge as well. But this one had the most pictures and had the most things. Just look at all those books upstairs, and they got the kitchen down here. They got a kitchen back around the corner over there. They got the kitchen in the greenhouse, and here you're up on the upper floor, one of the upper floors or middle floors, because there's a balcony up there for another upper floor, but it goes down over there to one of the lower floors. This thing is just huge over there. It's at one of the universities, and it's got commercial funding on it. So I can't remember the name of the one of the big companies that's doing it, and it's just yeah, and the company that's one of the companies that's funding it has nothing to do with cooking at all. It's like General Motors funding it. because hey, it's a PR face. And over there, they're doing it. So that's some of them there. And then my mom had every one of these books in hers and more, and they're all in California with my wife right now. But I remember the one the two on the bottom there, the Heritage Cookbook and the Golden Treasury of Cooking. Those were on my mom's counter all the time, along with the Better Homes and Garden new cookbook.
Yeah, that new cookbook's not very new, but it is certainly one of the golden oldies, the best.
Yep.
I have my mom's, and I love it.
Yeah, so I got
that one and the brown one. It's like a gray. I think it's gray, which is like 10 years older than that one. It was my grandmother's, I think. And there's all kinds of handwritten notes and stuff in there. And
yeah, my mom's is in the kitchen there in California with my wife. My grandmother's and both of her grandmother's ones are packed away, ready to come up here whenever she decides to come. But so she keeps my mom out there because my mom copied all the notes from her mother's book into hers. So, and it has her notes and stuff as well. But yeah. And those are, so there's, some really, cool things here on it. So let's go. That's the last picture I have there, I believe. Yep, that's the last picture.
I still have all my books from culinary school, all the ones I had to pay for and had to buy, my school books. But the recipes are all like the most, I don't want to call them generic, but they're basic recipes. Unfortunately, most of the recipes are for making 20 gallons of soup, which is fine. I just need the ingredients. But I made my my bake shop cookbook workbook had butter pound cake recipe in there, and it was a true butter pound cake. I made that for my sister's wedding. I used real butter, real everything, real buttercream frosting, not this fake foamy crappy stuff that we use buttercream frosting. No, you don't. You use this crap out of a can. That's what
if it has Cool Whip in it, it is not frosting.
Yeah, well, it wasn't Cool Whip. It was Rich's Whip Top. Oh, anyway. No, mine was real stuff. I put real rosebuds inside upside down cordial glasses to hold my sister's got all the pictures of it. One of these days I'll send one over. But I put this thing in the back of my mom's station wagon and drove 30 miles to deliver it at 10 miles an hour. It wasn't put together. I put it together there. But anyway, the recipes all came out of my cookbook from school. And my sister still says, she's like, everybody 39 years later still talks about it being the best wedding cake they ever had, because it wasn't just sponge cake with Cool Whip on it.
Yeah. And
I was proud of that. Real strawberry filling. And all the recipes came out of there. And that's why I keep them all. I don't have to reference them very often right now, but I got them. And they're not going. And I paid too much money for them back in the 80s. I'm not getting rid of them anytime soon.
Yeah. When Chris and I got married, the girl who was her maid of honor, her mother taught at the San Francisco Culinary Academy, and she made the cake, and she was going, "Oh, we're gonna use cream cheese filling," and my wife goes, "No cream cheese," and she goes, "Why not? You want to see projectile vomiting? Just give it. When my husband takes a bite, it'll be projectile vomiting." She goes, "Really?" She goes, "Yeah, pure buttercream frosting."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, one of those." And you get this smell of it. That was the richest buttercream frosting. She did it cold, and then she whipped it for 15 minutes, and it was not enough to turn into butter, but they slowed it down, and it was so. I mean, you could take it and you could fluffy and stack with it. It was just
I spent probably 4 days straight with my aunt making roses on the little rose nails, and we probably, if we made 500 roses, I used 30 of them, because some came out good, some fell over, didn't work right, had to play with the frosting until we got it right and the colors and all that. And those all got put on a special tray, and I had everything to take it up there and Chef was impressed, offered me a job when I got there, but I was working at the Hilton at the time. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm at the Hilton. Sorry, I'm not working in your little country club up here.
Yeah. All right. So I showed so Swaffer Homestead came in. Moon over Miami. Myra Page is in on your side. 2XYV's here. All right. Now Tammy sent me some links, and I'm going to show those links here now of some books. Just, mostly aimed at canning, but there are some others in here. So the USDA Complete Home Canning Guide. And this one was revised. This is the latest revision, which was 10 years ago. They have not revised it.
Yeah.
A couple of them they were putting on it, revised. I think it says but it says here it says 2020. That's the one that was published. It was still the revision from 2015. So
nothing's changed.
Yeah.
And it's a good, solid. If you want to buy the book, approved recipes only. That is a good, solid book. And here's a good tip for you. You can take that to Staples and have them cut the pages apart, and they will spiral bind it for you so it lays flat on your counter. And it's got enough margin to do that.
Will Staples actually laminate each page too for you?
Possibly.
Probably.
If you have enough money, they will.
Yeah, money. That's the thing. Money.
Money talks. Yeah.
Yeah.
But even if you have I've seen where they've taken them and did the spiral. And when I get one, I don't own one of those, but when I get one of those, I'm going to spiral. I'm going to pay the money to have it spiraled.
Yeah. And the next one here. Oh, hang on. I got it too. No, that's the other one. That's the other one. Dang it. That's the other. That's Stocking Up.
It's coming up.
Yeah,
I know you have Stocking Up though. We talked about it.
So Stocking Up 3rd edition, and these are all on Amazon. You can get them on Amazon. Here it is. I got it. There it is. It's the same one.
Me too, but I don't have any of my books here at this house. So I had to go online and pull them all up online. Yeah.
This one here is great for pre-Christmas doing for gifts.
Yeah. Has a lot. And if you have a freeze dryer and you want to freeze dry meals in a jar, it has the freeze drying ones. It has the canning ones. It's nice. It's really
funny you should mention that. I just finished up 2 12-pint jar rounds, one of turkey vegetable soup we made, and the other one was pasta fagioli. It's one of my wife's recipes. It's one of those hidden secret recipe things from Olive Garden or whatever. She's modified it. But she's like, can you make that? I'm like, sweetie, just keep the fat low. I can make whatever you want. She's like, there's no fat in it. I'm like, perfect. So I made it so each pint jar is sealed up. She just has to fill it up. It takes a couple tries because you put the water in at first, everything floats. And then it sucks it up, and you pour more hot water until it's full. You can eat it out of the jar. Or she'll just pour it in a bowl and add 12.5 ounces of hot water to it. And she's got a 16-ounce, 2 cups of soup ready to go. She took the turkey soup to work. She hasn't eaten that one yet. And I'm going to give her a pasta fagioli to take. And she's good there. Yeah, freeze drying is great for meals and stuff in jars and even in bags, whatever. But good book.
All right. So Myra asked, so let me go back to that first one here. This one here is this one's $14 for the paperback.
If I could only have one, I'd either have this one or the Ball Blue book.
Yeah.
It's coming up at the end here. We'll get to
Actually,
that.
it's coming up. Actually, it was the next one coming up here.
Oh, all right.
And there it is. And that one is all right. It's right now it's on sale 21, and it's on sale 17% off the normal price, which is 25. So this is the
I got that one.
Yeah, this is it says April 2024.
Yeah.
So.
And that's not the book. That's not the blue book.
That's the
bigger
book.
one. This is the bigger one. The blue book is actually thinner.
That one only has 20% of the pages are advertising. The Ball Blue book is 70% of the pages are advertising.
Yeah. So this one has more recipes. That's why I picked this one over the other one.
Yeah. Okay. And Howie's here now.
What's up, Howie? Hello, Howie. How are you today, Howie? I am just a robot here, making up space, taking up space, however it works.
All right, so you got root cellaring. How to do root cellar. So that's another little good one just for talk about preserving without preserving, or pre-preserving, or whatever you want to call it. Persevering, making it preserved.
Food storage without refrigeration.
Yeah.
Or if you're Howie, how to put it in your cave properly.
Yeah, exactly. This is for Howie. This is the cave.
Yeah,
cave. It should be called cave cellaring.
Oh, Howie says eating prime rib and roasted veggies.
Ooh.
It's all right. I just pulled out New York strip steaks. Howie probably saw me because I was carving that up on Shadow Scouts live feed on Saturday. So I had a whole. You saw me, Gil. So I was cutting that up. I cut them. Some of them were thick. The other ones are like 4-ounce steaks, hardly any fat on it. Sous vide them. They came out of the freeze dryer a couple hours ago. They're in bags. So I got sous vide New York strip steaks. They're thinner, ½ inch or so, ready to eat. And I got raw scallops coming out here when we're done here. I like doing seafood and ready to eat stuff. And yeah, sorry. If we live closer, Tammy, I'd definitely give you a couple pouches. Like, here, knock yourself out.
Just mail me the lawn clippings. I want that lemon balm.
Yeah,
get the steak. I want the lemon balm. You're gonna have to wait till
spring now. I mean, I could probably rip the roots out and they'd probably make it. You could plant it, but I'll just wait till springtime. My whole foundation's surrounded with that stuff.
Yeah. Those clear sleeves they're talking about in the side chat. You know, you put it in a 3-ring binder, you put your page in there. Mm-hmm. I found the best price, believe it or not, was on Amazon, but it was getting the 500 pack of them, the big, thick pack of them. That's when the price dropped. When you get the big numbers, that's when the price dropped. All right, next one here from Tammy is Moosewood Cookbook, 40th Anniversary Edition.
I love that one because it's full of really good nutritional soups, and this is mostly vegan, so I just love it. This is my token vegan cookbook, but I absolutely love this book for the soups. The winter soups are just so good.
Okay, this one has 4 different ways of getting it. There is the Kindle for $5. The hardcover for $22.83, well, $21. Paperback for round up to $17, and the spiral bound is $36.
Go for the spiral.
Yeah.
You'll be flipping through all these pages a lot. There's so many good recipes in there. That was someplace like an inn or someplace in like Maine or someplace, and it just had the best food, and so that's their
Ithaca, New York.
Ithaca, okay. Maine, Ithaca, New York.
A small restaurant in Ithaca, New York.
Moose have no borders up there. They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. New Brunswick, Ithaca, New York. I was in New York I was in Canada one day at a McDonald's and ran into my neighbors, my ex-neighbors from Florida. They lived in New York. But the nearest McDonald's was in Canada. So, I mean, there's no such thing as borders up there. It's just.
Yeah. Well, now you need a passport to get back. So.
I already had a passport, so I wasn't worried. I spoke French, so I was all set in Canada.
Oh, you were in that part of Canada. I know where that part is. I've been to Quebec many times. I love the city. People I can't say it on Gil's feed.
You have to speak French. Then then that's it. They want you when you go there.
A friend of mine from up there in Canada, back when I was 19 or 20, we met, and so we came. Anyways, whoever the PM of Quebec was back then threatened to separate from Canada. The Canadian phone company demanded a meeting with him. They say, fine, we're pulling all our equipment out. Every line, everything, we'll pull it out of Quebec. and screw you. Or you want us to put it back in? They quote them some insane amount of money.
Yeah, because you're now a foreign country.
They said it's hard enough just going across. What are they called? Not states. What are they called up there?
Provinces.
Provinces. You know, with this stuff. You make it another country. Screw you. You're not going to have any telecommunications.
They were trying. They've been dying to become their own country forever because they just will not use anything but French up there. I mean, they'll use it for the tourists, but they kind of get pissy about it. But they'll take your money all day long.
Yeah. Anyways, I got some other books here from my library. I'm going to start out with the thickest one.
Ooh, that's a real good one. I love those magazines. Ooh.
This thing is, here's what's neat about it. You know, in most books, the inside of the hardcover is white, nothing on it.
Oh, I love all their posters.
And hang on, let me put the cover back on here so I can do the back one. The back one is the same way.
Yes, because every single month they include a new poster with just beautifully illustrated food. It's so beautiful.
Oh yeah, I mean, I was looking at this, and it's like grapes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different types of grapes. Some of which I've never heard of.
No.
Asian fruit, basil, 12 different types of basil, carrots.
There's more than that. But
11 different types of carrots on the poster here. Exotic mushrooms. You know, pumpkins. 18 different types of pumpkins on here. Yeah.
But they'll do one next year and it'll have 18 more pumpkins. Like they're never the same. There's never two the same. And I love to. I go to the library. I check it out. If I find them at garage sales, I grab them. I snag them.
Now we're going to bring it down a little bit in size. This one I think is important because no matter what you can and everything else, or freeze dry or dehydrate, when you go to fix it for a meal, a lot of times you're going to need
the sauce.
Yep, basic sauces.
James Peterson's. It's a thin one too.
I got the James Beard sauce book. Yeah, it's a little thicker than that one, and the print's a whole lot smaller.
A lot
and mostly
smaller.
French stuff, but
yeah. The next one I got here, and these all came from my mom.
Ooh.
The Flavor Bible. And this is by Karen Page and Andrew Dornberg. IACP award-winning authors of What to Drink with What You Eat. So, anyways, yeah. And they got there's tons. I mean, it's just recipe, almost like it's recipe after recipe after recipe with an occasional picture thrown in. But just right there is 1, 2, all the different, just amazing.
Oh.
I got 2 more books for me to cover from here. I'm going to save the best one for last. Better Homes and Garden, Old Fashioned Baking.
Nice.
I'm not sure if you can see that price on it. No, it's going fuzzy. This price on this was $16. That's a paper yellow sticker price on it, which you haven't used in 30 years.
Yeah.
So you know how old this book is.
There's no UPC code on the back.
Well, actually, there is.
Oh, okay.
It's one of the first years they were probably using it. Probably. But another one my mom picked up. Unfortunately, I would say this was probably mid 80s or so, because she didn't. Usually my mom will write her name, where she got it from, the month, date, and year on the book she buys. And if it's a gift, she'll write all that in there too, and it'll say like to Kevin, to Gil, to Mary Angel, whatever on it. Now, for whatever you have in cooking, you cook this great meal, what do you do for an encore?
Cook another great meal. 34? Okay.
1934, Hershey's Cookbook, republished again. And my mom got it from Publishers Clearinghouse. She left the thing in here with the return and everything, all the stuff in there. So we just kind of leave those in the books there.
Which ones did she get free with the 6 she bought?
Yeah, right.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, just
Look at the cookies.
The cookies, the cakes, chocolate custard ice cream.
Ooh, with a hand churned ice cream. You have fun with that. Kids want ice cream. You better get that arm in shape.
That's what I said. I'm cranking. Wait, my arm hurts.
I don't crank it. Give it to the kids to crank. They want ice cream. Start cranking, kids.
Oh, yeah.
Ice cream will be ready in about 2 hours.
The last time I cranked, I was the kid.
Well,
chocolate pies. I mean, this thing here is just absolute. I mean, and there's 3 recipes on the page there, and that's there's just multiple recipes on 3. At least 3 recipes on every page going through. Marble cake, old-fashioned chocolate cake, Devil's Delight, old-fashioned cocoa mint cake, chocolate crumb cake, Hershey's special cake. Ooh. Yeah. Chicago fudge cake. Yeah. So you can still find this one. Actually, I'm going to put this in over here on Amazon, see if I can find it here. See if Amazon still has it. Because my sister said she found one again when I was talking to her for one of her kids.
So to be clear, when it comes to baking is basically a science. There's formulas involved. There's specific things that need to interact with each other to get your food to come out the way it needs to. When it comes to just basic cooking, and I run into this all the time, I tell somebody about something, or somebody tells me something they made. And they're like, it was great. I'm like, well, it was good for you. What was in it? Well, I don't like dill in my food and certain foods. I would never put dill in there, but what's your basic recipe? And that I use most of my cookbooks, not for baking, but my cookbooks for baselines of the ingredients. And then I can go from there, and you can modify stuff when you're cooking stuff. You can modify it the way you like it. I mean, a recipe is literally somebody's idea that worked for them that they wrote down somewhere and it made it to a book. A lot of times it needs to be a certain thing, if it's a specific French cuisine or whatever, it has to be certain things. But the way my wife and I cook, it's like, what do you want? I want beef. What do you want with it? I don't know. Let's figure something out. And she'll flip through some cookbooks or online or whatever. It's like, oh, can you make this with tomatoes and stuff? Sure. What are the basic ingredients? And then I make it there. I make it that way, the way I like it. I can do that. A lot of people can't do that. They need a recipe, which is fine. I mean, that it is what it is. Cooking is a creativity thing, not baking. Baking can be creative too, but cooking just meals and things is more of a creativity thing, but you need direction. And that's where the books come in handy. So
the local deli here has a sandwich I absolutely love. I hate every ingredient in the sandwich but one. It is a cracked pepper mustard, or a cracked peppered mayonnaise with fried egg whites, bacon wrapped in a tortilla shell.
I can make that.
I can make it too. I hate everything but bacon in that sandwich.
But you put it all together, it tastes good, right?
I would never make it, ever. But I absolutely love it when I go in there. I get one every time.
Yeah. My wife even says that. She's like, and I say it the same way. We can have identical recipes, identical ingredients, identical cooking times, procedures, everything. When she cooks it, I like it. When I cook it, she likes it. Because when you're cooking it, you're playing with it for hours. And you're just done smelling it and tasting it and look. It's like, here's your Chateaubriand with blah, 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 and asparagus saute and all this stuff. Here's that. I'm going to go open a can of ravioli because I've been looking at this crap all day long. I'm done with it. Looks good, smells good, tastes great. I just don't feel like eating it now because I've been staring at it all day long.
Yeah, I'm going to go back to the thing here. So there's the book, $44, brand new. But then it has on the recommendation, it has the Hershey's Classic Recipes for $13 and the Hershey's Chocolate Lovers Cookbook. My wife has that one for $16. But it's hard to tell up across the back, all the the different variants of it and the other Hershey book. Hershey has a lot of friggin' cookbooks for chocolate. I mean, it's just like
business.
Yeah. 100th anniversary cookbook. Yeah.
You used to save your little box tops and send them in, and they would give you the cookbooks.
Yeah.
And then, keep making more of our recipes and using more of our product. But those days are gone, unfortunately.
Yeah.
My wife and I picked up a Pillsbury cookbook I remember this. We were up in Cape Cod back in, I think, 88. And it was some little podunk antique shop out in the middle of nowhere. We just like to go in. And it was an original from like 1929 or 1930 or something. It was like $2. We bought it. We got it somewhere. We looked through it. I can't recognize half the ingredients because they had different names for stuff back then. Yeah. And different measurement styles of, 2 shots of this. It's like, well, what's a shot? And they're not talking shot glasses. I don't know what they were talking about. So you got to do a lot of research to figure out what they were really talking about. It's like building an ark. What's a cubit? I don't know. Yeah, that's it.
But wait a minute.
Different than Hills.
And mine's going to be way smaller than Andre's the Giant's.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. So I have
Mine'll be a mid-sized yacht.
I have the Calumet baking powder cake book. It has baking, but it has mostly old cakes, and it's hit or miss. Like, they didn't have the sugar in them that we do now. So like 3 out of 4 will be drop dead great, and then that 4th one will be like, what?
Yeah, like, the heck happened here? Yeah, you don't have
what? I mean, and they all look like they're proportional the same, but just because of the cocoa in one, it's not as good as the vanilla ones because of the lack of sugar, the lack of the sugar we're used to having now.
I'm trying to look something up here see if there's anything.
Yeah, Amish cookbooks are always interesting reads, especially the older ones, and they're not always Amish. A lot of them are Mennonite.
Oh, I have a playlist of cookbook reviews. I updated it today. There are 12, and every one of them has the book where you can buy it either on Barnes & Noble or on Amazon. One of them is the Amish canning book. The lady's not Amish. I thought, okay, maybe she's ex-Amish. So I looked her up on Facebook, and it is a verified profile. And she was not Amish as a child either. There's pictures of her in bikinis with her parents in bikinis on beaches. These are not Amish people, but boy, if you put the word Amish in that cookbook, it'll sell.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's not Amish, but yeah.
And there's nothing Amish about it.
Exactly.
Which is don't waste your money on it.
Yeah. So I would say that unless the Amish are using a third party to publish their recipes, you ain't going to get one.
There are some Amish publishers. They do publish cookbooks. Our Amish Hardware has some very fine cookbooks that are 100% Amish and published by the Amish. But you're not going to find it on Amazon.
Yeah, you're not going to find it on Amazon or Barnes & Noble or something like that.
Yeah.
No. And a lot of the Amish recipes, they have their measuring cup, spoons, things, but sometimes they have their own measuring cup, spoon. Yeah,
my Pennsylvania Dutch Amish great grandmother's recipe for noodles. It is 1 cup of flour, one egg per person, and then half an eggshell of cream.
Yeah.
That was her measuring.
Chickens.
Half an eggshell of cream for every cup of flour, every egg.
Yeah. And what cup are you using? Oh, it's the cup my great-great-grandmother was using because we keep making the same thing over and over again. It's like, well, how big is a cup? I don't know. It's a cup. It's a metal cup or a wooden cup or whatever cup it is.
By the way, Grandma did not measure in a measuring cup. She used a teacup or a very small 6-ounce coffee cup.
Exactly.
So when you go Grandma's bean soup for 12 that she made for her family with 9 kids and her husband, and it was 4 cups of dried beans, but the cup wasn't a measuring cup.
No, you do 4 cups of dried beans for 12 people. You'll have enough food for 20 people. But yeah.
So it was, you have to interpret those old recipes.
Yeah.
But don't waste your money on a book that says Amish on the front, because you're probably throwing your money away. I mean, unless there's good recipes you want in there. It's
somebody who knew somebody who this is what they did and this is what they put in it, and they wrote it down and says it's from the Amish, and they may not have ever made it, but you know what? Yeah, you put the word Amish on a cookbook, everybody buys it.
Yeah. One of the things I was thinking about is just the way my mind works here. If a smart publishing company would realize it, they would they would send somebody out to where the real Amish cookbooks are and Amish publishers and talk to them and say, hey, we want to take this nationwide because so everyone become more aware of your great recipes and your culture. And, if they would smart, they'd probably, this is, they could actually do, this is actually from Amish people, and they could do a big promotion on it, probably sell 10 times as much as the others.
The other thing I love for cookbooks is the church cookbooks. So a lot of times they'll do a fundraiser and they'll publish a church cookbook. And a lot of times you can pick those up. I have a really great one, and I didn't put it on that list, that is a Mennonite one from a sect that is very close by where I live. And everybody's name is in there, who submitted the recipe and what town they lived in. And it's republished because it's so good. And I have the original. I have 2 of the originals.
I'm pretty sure my meatloaf sandwich recipe for the meatloaf itself made it into one of my mom's church's paper cookbooks back a bunch of years ago, because my dad asked me one day, he's like, he loves meatloaf sandwiches. He's like, I need a good recipe. I'm like, fine. So I literally just wrote it down real quick. And, 80% and breadcrumbs, and he liked the Italian seasoning, so a little oregano, basil, garlic, salt, and pepper, and an egg per pound. And he made it. He literally pulled out that index card I made. Actually, I wrote it on a dupe sheet from the restaurant I was working at. He had that thing pasted to the back wall, and when he wanted meatloaf sandwiches for the week, he made it, and he put it in there, and that's all he ever ate. And he's like, this is because it was dense. So he could slice it thin and put it on 2 pieces of white bread with whatever ketchup and stuff he put on there. And he's like, best meatloaf recipe ever. And I'm pretty sure my mom gave it to one of the churches to publish for whatever reason. I don't know if I could ever find it, but probably not, because I think it was a little local church and their cookbook was like, a bunch of index cards with holes punched in it and a ring binder holding it together, which is fine. I mean, you know what? Maybe somebody else found it, liked it, and somebody's making my recipe now. That works for me.
I collect those books. So I have a whole shelf of those. I like to find them from local around here, because that it goes hand in hand with my genealogy. So I have some that I actually found relatives' recipes in there. And I put them then on my family history. I put those recipes in for them. So that's pretty cool too.
One of these days, I'm going to make my own pierogies, and you will be getting a phone call, Tammy.
Yummy.
I haven't made them yet. I want to. I buy Mrs. T's. They're okay. I've had local made ones at some of the places I worked at where we're having pierogies tonight. I'm like, okay. And they had them delivered. They had them delivered. I mean, I got like, 80 pounds. I was cooking for an Elks Club, and they delivered like 80 or 100 pounds of homemade pierogies. And I had the big flat top grill, and I must have spent 2 hours chopping onions up. And yeah, they were great. And I have no idea what was, I know they were like potato cheese, but ratios and stuff and the dough. And I think they had like 10 women making these things for us. Bye, Myra.
I had a friend.
Myra and Howie left, and Sumi came in.
And it all evens out. I had a friend who was going to teach me. She was Polish. She was going to teach me how to make them. And I left that employment. We were coworkers. And I have not. I should look her up and see, hold her to that promise to teach me how to make them. My grandson absolutely loves the loaded baked potato pierogies by Mrs. T.
Yeah. Those are good with bacon and cheese in there. Oh my God. Yeah. And chives.
He peels them apart, eats, because he's a year old. Not quite. His first birthday's coming up. I'm making his first birthday cake. But he peels them apart, licks the inside, and throws the noodle away.
Throws the noodle away. You know what? I used to do that with my mom's raviolis, so go figure.
Yeah.
And stuffed shells. Scoop all the cheese out of it and push the noodle off to one side. You're going to eat those noodles or you're getting it for breakfast. Okay. I'll eat the noodles too. Give me more sauce, Mom.
Put the sauce on it.
Interesting. Tukpa V says, see the church cookbooks now and then at thrift stores.
Yep.
But yeah.
I'm always, some of the best recipes I've done videos. Becca, because I've adopted her as my daughter, and her great grandmother, the church that they went to, did one of those cookbooks. And so my hot sauce recipe came out of that cookbook, and so did the pickled peaches that I had to, again, it was one of those recipes where there was no measurements.
You got to figure it out.
Yeah.
And you had to figure it out. And I made it for Becca's aunt, and she said it tastes just like my mother's. So that was a huge compliment.
Pickled peaches?
Yes, they are not like pickled like you think. They are spiced. Basically, it has cloves, cinnamon, in a sweet syrup.
Ah, gotcha. Okay. Can you can them? Probably.
Yes, that's the whole. They are canned.
Oh, okay, cool.
So there's something you would put like on a salad bar or have as a side dish to a.
Hey, you can put it on some vanilla ice cream. Yeah. Yeah, maybe not.
I wouldn't. Yeah, you could. I wouldn't. But it's more of a side dish for like pork.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There are just, I mean, like all right. Most of my wife's and I's cookbooks are still in California. I have a 4-foot wide bookshelf in there, and there's three of the shelves are cookbooks, and one of them is half cookbook, half food preservation, food storage and stuff like that. But in between is a section about like that wide of these little cookbooks.
The little handouts.
Where they you on 8x11 sheet of paper. They typed all the recipes up that were submitted, ran it through the copier, copied them up on different colored papers, stapled together, and handed them out at church.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like those little story publishing pamphlets for each vegetable and fruit.
Yeah, no, these are cookbook ones, and like in Martinez, the church there would hand them out about every 5 years or so. Someone would go, "We haven't done one in a while. New recipes, everybody."
So, Gil, you should scan some of those and send them to me.
But the one which surprised me that she has in there was from Fredonia, Arizona. We were there for 2 years, and it's about that big, and it's spiral bound. No, well, sort of spiral. It's not. It's the plastic loopy.
Yeah,
the plastic. Yeah. That anyways, and it's probably about that thick, about almost half-inch thick, and small print of recipes from there, from northern Arizona. Some of those recipes though date back to 1860s.
Yeah.
When they were settling the area down there.
Oh yeah, you should scan that one and send it to me.
Good luck with measurements on that one.
But the budget preppers came in on your side there, Tammy.
Hello.
And
she's doing a collab. I heard you talking about it yesterday, and I sent you an email. I want in on it.
All right. Give me a second. I'll be right.
She had invited me. I just hadn't seen it, so I went and checked, found my invite, and I replied. So
my mom ordered back in the early 80s. Everybody had some kind of a club, the old Columbia House type thing with records and tapes. And she, for me, for Christmas, ordered like a year of, there were like these little plastic cards that would come in with all different recipes on it. And I tried to make some, and most of them were just absolute crap. I'm like, what? I didn't argue with my mom. She'd already paid for it. It was like, $5 for the year, and they send it to you and that. And they'd come in the mail, and she'd add them to the little
they
book.
Were like
they're like 5x7
index
cards.
cards.
Yeah.
With pictures on one side and the recipe. And they had this big plastic case with a clear lid.
Yeah, whatever. The clear case came first with a few, and then you just kept adding to it as the new ones show up. And, it's the latest, greatest thing. I'm like, and after a while, I'm like, yeah, these things suck, Mom. She's like, I'm sorry. I'm like, it's okay. I appreciate the thought, but it's not. Yeah.
So before I even learned to cook, so this predates my cooking, I would clip recipes out that I wanted to try someday. So I had a shoebox of newspaper and magazine recipes. And last year, my sister gave that back to me.
Nice. I have my mom's shoebox recipes with, things she cut out of magazines and newspapers and stuff. And some have handwritten notes on it. Most don't, because I think she just clipped it out to have it and never made it. Some things
I never made any of these recipes. Never made. She tried
making some of them, and the family was just like, "Yeah, okay, we'll eat it because it's all we got." So, sure. And I think that's where her burger bean cup recipe came from, which my sister will consistently laugh at me every time we bring it up in a conversation because I refuse to eat it. I hate cream of mushroom soup. I'll make my own, but you dump it out of a can in a little 80-20 burger patty with some French cut green beans and dump that on top with those French's dried onion strands on there. Oh, it was vile. My dad ate it, didn't argue because, he knew better.
Happy
my
life.
sister ate it.
Happy wife.
Sort of. I picked away and I'd wipe every green bean off on the side of my plate because I hated the cream of mushroom soup. And yeah, there were things we grew up with that, okay, I didn't die and I'm still alive today. But
hey, at least they were using ingredients. You remember, I've eaten just about everything that is native to North America that has 4 legs or is a steak.
All right, so I grabbed some of those books. I couldn't find the one from Fredonia. I'm not sure what happened to it. I think my daughter borrowed it. But all right, this one here is called From the Queen's Kitchen, a collection of recipes from the Pinto Bean Cooking Contest, Cortez, Colorado.
Ooh.
Cool.
And my mom picked this up 1974 when we were living in Fredonia, Arizona. She went up and got it. But there's that one there. One my wife brought from the let me get it here, the Mission San Jose, St. Joseph Community cookbook, and that one's about that thick.
Those.
Then there is this is the San Diego, California Temple Dedication Recipe Book, a collection of recipes served at the dedication of San Diego, California Temple, 1993. And it's the dedication goes on for days on it. Sugarless recipes, sunflower seed bread, apple bars, blanched asparagus, hand dripped chocolate stuff, basic French dressing, all sorts of stuff there. And then one of the ones from 2000 from Martinez that my wife's at, and that's one of those. And these probably came out about every 5-10 years.
Nice.
And it's so that's the way the recipes, all the different recipes, how many recipes each page and stuff. So
nice. Yeah, I go through, and if I find some that have canning recipes, I snag them, and then I collect them, and then I.
There were some other books in there that were spiral bound like that of canning stuff as well. So I'm not sure. But anyway.
Hey, Tuck by V, I have no idea. I'm sure. See, I like mushroom soup that I make, but not necessarily cream of. Now, what you can do, get a good, it doesn't take much. I mean, chicken broth and thin sliced mushrooms, saute them in a little bit of butter, and then add your chicken broth to it and salt and pepper. If you want to make it creamy without the flour, you can add a little heavy cream to it. And then if you're in a mood, if you like it a little thicker, just use cornstarch or one of the food starches. I don't know if it's cornstarch gluten-free. I think it is.
I think you have to watch where you buy your cornstarch from, because it can be cross-contaminated.
Cornstarch or the other thickener I use, which I can't remember the name now. But
powder?
Arrowroot, yeah. Yeah, you can use some arrowroot powder mixed with water. Just follow the instructions on that and thicken it up, and you can just use heavy cream in there, and there's your cream mushroom soup. And you can throw whatever vegetables you want in there. If you want to throw some onions in there, a little garlic. But sure. I mean, you can make anything gluten-free, but because the gluten comes from when you thicken a soup, you're mixing flour and butter and making a roux. So, yeah, that's...
Clear gel is something else I would recommend.
Clear gel, that's it. That's what I'm thinking
It is a modified cornstarch. You want the cooked type, not the instant.
Yeah, don't use instant
with it. But if you're just doing a powdered mix, to have a powdered mix that you make right as you need it, you could use the instant type. And again, I'm pretty sure the brand I buy says they're gluten-free.
Yeah. Oh, he just said cornstarch is gluten-free. So, okay.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, Clear Gel is a modified cornstarch, and that would be what they actually use in store-bought product. So if you want to taste more store-bought.
Sorry, I love to make up recipes on the fly. It's how my brain works. But, yeah, if you want to, you can use chicken broth. Makes a very nice mushroom soup. You can use beef broth if you want it a little deeper. You can use a vegetable broth if you want to keep it even vegan and gluten-free, if you want to go down that road. Sure. And then just saute some onions in there, a little olive oil, just a tiny bit, because you don't want too much oil floating on top. But, yeah, I could write this stuff down. I could literally write my own books. Every time somebody asks me for something, I'm like, yeah, do this. And 2 days later, like, oh, my God, it was the best ever. Can you write that down? I'm like, dude, I don't even remember what I told you. You told me what you
wanted. This is why, Mark,
I'm ADHD. Leave me alone, woman.
Stream to your channel, and you have it, and you can go back and say, oh, this is what I said. Let me write it down from what I said.
Sure. No, I don't need to write it down, because if somebody says, hey, I need a mushroom soup recipe, how many people are you cooking for? I just whip it out of the back of my head somewhere, because it's always there. I have like this. Come on, I remember my locker combination from 7th grade. I will die with those numbers in my head. Why? I don't know, but they're stuck there forever. And they'll never go.
Stick you in your locker, and that's why you remember them?
Yeah, whatever. I unfortunately have a visual recollection of pretty much anything I've ever seen, which is weird, sad, interesting. Yeah.
I have a phonographic memory.
Yeah, that's.
And I can also remember, I can remember the dress that my best friend wore to homecoming in 1982, and she can't.
Yeah, well, try writing down a blueprint of somebody's house after you're only in there for about 20 minutes. Yeah, I can do that.
That I can probably do. Other stuff, I'm visual like that type stuff, maps and stuff. But
yeah.
All right. So we're hitting the hour mark here. So coming up here, let me grab the thing over here. So tomorrow night on Gray Man Prepping, the topic is how much power do you need? Going to get a little technical there, folks, but I'm going to try to keep it simple enough and explain terms for you. Thursday's the Midnight Ride with Gray Man Prepping. Next Friday here on Camppatton Family Compound. Oh, we're getting into the nasty subject. Snow removal and other winter chores.
Ooh, CR needs to be on that one. He loves snow.
Saturday on Survival Saturday for Gray Man Prepping is elder parent care. We're going to talk about that and see where it goes from there. Next Monday here is one suggested by somebody. I don't know who might have suggested this one. Preserving ingredients.
Yes.
So it's going to be more along the lines of not just making your soup, but preserving the ingredients that you can make a bunch of different types of soup with, or this,
having a real pantry.
Yeah. Preserving things you're going to use for other things. So that's what we're going to kind of talk about next Monday. And I got a bunch more things. So someone just sent me a bunch of stuff. I got a whole bunch of new ones. I've been shuffling some of the topics around here because some of the stuff needs to come up sooner because we're dealing with certain things, weather-wise and stuff. So I've gotten suggestions from everybody. I'm up into the latter half of March. So if you have any topics and stuff, go ahead. In the very bottom of the description is the email you can send it to me at, and I'll add it and figure out whether it's best for Camppatton Family Compound or Gray Man Prepping, and we will put them in where it fits in best to get the most. And he just showed up. Glenn is here. How to garden.
Oh, where you been, Glenn? Watch the replay. Sorry, bud.
Yep.
All right, folks.
I think Tammy has one troll on there, and I'll find out here when we're done. Not a troll, a lurker. My friend Richard, if he's listening. Oh. Hello, Richard.
Just say hi, Richard.
I gotta teach him how to, because he's on his phone, how to hit the one button where it says comments so he can comment, or at least hit the like button. And
even if you just comment an emoji. That helps.
Yeah, anything. Oh no, I'll teach him that at some point when I have to be there with him.
But thank you for being here.
All right, everyone. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night over on Gray Man Prepping. If you see any of the books you like, you can, besides going to Amazon, you can also look books up on Barnes and Noble and some other books.
The links are on my description.
Yeah.
For both.
And find a used bookstore.
Yes.
A big one.
Oh, yes. Yeah, that's where I get a lot of mine. They're hard to find these days, though.
Oh, everybody's buying that and the herbs and all that stuff. Everybody's getting on board now.
You don't have to buy them. Do an interpersonal library loan. If your library doesn't have it, ask them to get it from another library. Or use a little free library. I get a lot of cookbooks from little free libraries.
You just got to put something back in there.
Yes. I do.
Or bring it back.
I take the one that I finished reading and I put it in the little free library and I take out a new one.
And photocopy it on your home photocopier so you have.
I've already scanned it to my computer.
Shh.
Good.
Copyright. You're a copyright.
It's only for my personal use. I am not selling it.
You could. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
There we go. I'm
Orange is not
frozen
my
again.
color. No.
All right, everyone. We're going to wrap it up here and take care. And hopefully we'll see you later. See you. Bye.
Have a good night.